disagree with me, but I'm offended by it, and I fear for the electoral process with the campaign 7 months out, starting off with that tone.
Mr. Mayor, you gave a great speech, and it sounds like your speech for the next campaign, which I'm not involved in. I won't be running for office. I told you that before, and I keep my word. Now, you've talked around and around the issues, and I give you credit for being a great talker. But I don't give you a lot of credit for candor. You had somebody stand up here during the big fishing pier debate to say why he loved the pier because he had a wedding with 200 people on that pier just a year before, long after 2003, when the report said, do not have any large crowds on the pier. Then I found out there were 2 weddings on the pier from none other than the pier master after 2003. So you can pick and choose the issues you want to discuss, but I'm sorry, I'm too old to be polite, and I was, in former years, too young to be polite, so there was never a time for me to be polite. I can only be candid. Life's too short. And you can talk your way around the points, but you can't explain away your own auditor's condemnation of your financial bookkeeping and your CFO and your duty to supervise this CFO. And these condemnations are very heavy because these auditors, according to our research, contributed a lot of money to your political campaigns, and yet they still were forced by ethical standards, professional standards, to label their audits of the city as containing material misstatements and material weaknesses and reportable conditions. If you don't know what that means, you didn't do your job because you should have gotten an interpretation in plainer English from your auditors as to what it really means. It's a very serious condemnation. And for the layman or layperson, take those terms and multiply them by 5 at a minimum, then you realize how serious those statements are in the audits. You cannot whitewash that. I'm not going to go through each point with you because I'm not running against you, and I'm not in agreement with this shadow guy Klutz you want to fight with. It's got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with WeLoveVentnor.com. It's just another source of information, just like the Atlantic City Press, which has unflattering articles about people in this administration. We didn't write them. We're not guilty for them. It's information that's out there. You can respond to things you don't like that you see. It's open. So you're not stuck with something you don't like. And people who use bad words and insults and personal attacks defeat themselves. They don't get respect. They may get a kick out of it, but they don't win adherence. People don't win with that kind of hate. So we're all in agreement on that. I stand by what I said. I stand by the seriousness of what I said about what I consider official misfeasance on your part, all 3 of you. Which could be, when carefully investigated, something that goes up to malfeasance. And in that case, you better lawyer up. Because it's not just a matter, oh, we kept things by hand. Who are you kidding? Half a lifetime ago, I was in the same position you were, where I lived in Pennsylvania. And we had books kept by hand, and they were balanced. And everything was accounted for. And payments were certified. I noticed you didn't mention the part about payments without certifications of receipt of goods and services. That's not just, oh, we're just a little town. You did lots of things in Ventnor, and most of them are things you should be doing. I was waiting for you to take credit for the sun rising and the moon coming up. Look, you're supposed to rebuild. You're supposed to improve. You're supposed to fix roads. You're supposed to go out in the public. It's all part of the job. If you don't love it, don't do it. I hope you're not doing it for the money. None of you. It's a sacrifice. But you have to take it seriously. When you spend our tax dollars, it should be considered the same as if you were spending it out of your own pocket. You should give it that much respect and not just do things and then say, well, we'll just raise taxes, or if we don't want to raise taxes officially, we'll do a backdoor reassessment and we'll raise it that way. It doesn't matter to the taxpayer why they're paying more taxes. They want it to be justified, or they don't want to pay higher taxes, whether it's a backdoor raise or an actual raise. I'm not going to fight a war with words with you. Other people can do that who may want to run for office. I just want the facts out there, and I want the public to be informed about the bad things and not just the good things, because that would force you to do your homework better and take corrective action faster. And none of those small town excuses, oh, it's done by hand, I guess it's done with a stubby pencil. Come on, don't kid us. Give some people here a little credit for having some experience in their own businesses. You are very tolerant of your time limits. Well, you're not the only one. I did exactly the same thing 30 years ago because I believed in open government. I had nothing to fear because people could see everything out there. And if they didn't like it, and they told us about it, we changed it. It's not enough to have people talking at you. You need to listen to them. You need to understand what they're saying. You need to incorporate what people are telling you who are well-meaning citizens, incorporate what they're telling you into your decisions. It's not enough to just hold forums so people can have a little psychotherapy by venting. But I appreciate the courtesy of giving me the time, and we'll continue our conversations.
I'm sure. Again, I don't want to engage in a battle of words with you. I think I made my feelings known.